So, about a month ago, I was contacted by my local arts district to see if I would be interested in painting a mural inside a local Mexican restaurant, and I said yes, absolutely. The black and white was already sketched out for me by the artist who did the mural on the opposite wall, but she had to step out of the project due to personal reasons, so I was asked to come in and do all of the color. I started on this left side because it seemed honestly the easiest. I'm painting a giant marigold, which is a traditional Day of the Dead flower, along with this sugar skull. Mexican culture has a lot of bright colors, and so that's something I definitely wanted to reflect in all of these designs, and I feel like I did a pretty good job. The skull definitely was one of my favorite parts to work on because the design is so fun, and I feel like it really helped me get my footing with this project. Other than a community project in like 8th grade, I really don't have any experience painting murals, but I'm definitely hooked now. After this, I continued making my way over to the right and working on the bread and the banner. I've been kind of laughing at myself because going back and looking at this video, it's so funny how much I move around just to paint this one letter. Uh, but that's just how it goes, I guess. I don't know if this is like a faux pas, but I did a lot of mixing colors directly onto the wall. I'm sure some veteran muralists are like screaming at me, but I think it actually turned out pretty well, especially when adding dimension to these flowers. So I would put down the light purple and then while it's still wet, put on the dark purple until it dries. And I think it worked out pretty well. It was a little nerve-wracking, but I was also happy I was able to try new things with this. Having everything sketched out for me and then going in and filling it in was almost like having a teacher for this kind of process, if that makes sense, where I have a guide for what to do, but I'm also given the room to experiment, which I really, really appreciated. For this guitar, I totally free-handed this design, and because it was something that I got to come up with myself, it was one of the most relaxing parts of this process for me and one of my favorite parts of the mural. Some people find having people watch them paint in public to be a pretty terrifying thing. I was asked that a few times, and that part doesn't make me nervous. What makes me nervous is, just wanting to do well for everyone because the mural isn't mine at the end of the day. It belongs to not only the restaurant, but also the community, everybody who is, sitting and eating next to it for the foreseeable future. And so it's a little bit of pressure. That being said, I think that getting to do a mural is so exciting for so many reasons, but one of the biggest ones is like I could always, take my kids here and be like, look, I painted that, or, tell my students that I went and did something that belongs in our community and it's something that they get to see. So it's really sort of heartwarming for me and exciting. It's sort of surreal that when it comes to my portfolio, I can have something that I can literally point to and say, oh yeah, I did that. And getting to work on such a large surface is really frustrating, but worth it. There's a lot of payoff. Anyway, here I am on my very last day, just going around touching up everything, making sure that, all the little details are correct and there are no smudges, and I'm fixing areas where like, oh, maybe I forgot a color. I knew that we were taking pictures later, so I'm not actually wearing my paint clothes that day, so that was a little intimidating, but I survived and so did my outfit. This area you're about to see behind the bicycle was originally left blank, so I was really excited to add my own ideas with the marigolds and the leaves. It's one of my favorite parts. I know I already said that about the guitar, but this is my favorite little corner. And then here's the rest of the mural. So the finished guitar with the flowers, the sugar skull with some added details, Pan de Muertos, the name of the town, a sombrero, tortillas, just everything. And it was so much fun. Here's my signature, which is always going to be there. So exciting. I felt like a real, muralist at that point when I finally did that. So that was so cool. I'm a little afraid to go back and listen to how many times I said the word cool or exciting, but that's really just how I feel about it. I just loved doing this. And so, again, thank you to Katrina's for having me, and go eat at this amazing restaurant.